Hello there, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly video tarot forecast. This forecast is for the month of July, and I am breaking that month down into two segments. So first of all, we will look at July the 1st through the 17th, and then after that, we're going to look at July 18th through the 31st. Your cards have already been shuffled. They are on the table, so let's just jump right in. Virgos, what I'm seeing about your environment, and remember, environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. I feel like there's something going on where maybe you're breaking free from your environment for a certain amount of time during the 1st through the 17th. Maybe not for that whole time, but there's just this sense of breaking free. Or, if you're not breaking free from the environment, it could be that the environment is breaking free from some kind of old limitations or restrictions that used to have a hold on it. Next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about your subconscious learnings, Virgo. I feel like there's something going on in your life where you are sure that somebody is not being completely transparent with you, and you would really like to get to know the truth. And I think your subconscious mind is working on, how can I put these puzzle pieces together and figure out what's really going on here. All right, next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about your learning style and also your communication style, Virgos. So, learning style, I'm seeing that you guys are very quick, very sharp, that you pick up information very quickly and find ways to put it to use in your everyday life without any problems whatsoever, at least during this time frame. As far as communication, I feel like you guys are the queens and the kings of half messages right now. It could be that you start to text somebody and you get distracted and you never send it, or you just send part of the thought and something happens that distracts you and so you never finish that thought. This could even be happening in regular conversations where you're getting distracted before you actually come to the point. It's just, like I said, it feels like half-finished communication here. The whole story is not there, only parts of it. The beginning parts of it is what I'm hearing. Next thing that we're looking at has to do with your work. Something is going on at work that is helping you to be a lot more relaxed than you have been, where you have been stressed out and going as much and as fast as you possibly can. I think there's something going on that allows you to relax just a little bit, not feel that stress, find some relief whenever it comes to work. Next thing we have coming up, blah, da, 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 da. Talks to me about that part of your personality which is growing or expanding right now. I think what we have going on right now is that there are some things that you have invested into, whether you invested your emotions, your time, your energy, your effort, your finances, whatever that you invested into, and you expected that at some point you would get a return back on that investment. I think you're finding that patience is key here, that you can't rush those investments, you can't rush that harvest. And so I think that you're basically finding that you still need to wait for that payback. And I feel like this is for more than one situation, and these are different types of situations too, but more than one situation where you're waiting for that payback to actually come through. When we wait for a payback does not mean that you're not getting it, it just means you're not getting it right now. Okay? So next thing I'm looking at, Virgos, has to do with something that you stand for. And when I say it's something that you stand for, there's probably been somebody who has asked you to explain this thing, or who has literally confronted you about this thing. And so after that conversation, we're going to look at how this person feels once this interaction is done, how the other person feels about this situation. Okay, so first thing we're looking at what you stand for, and we do see that there's a major transformation that you've been going through, and I don't know that you necessarily expected to go through it, and I think somebody's giving you a little bit of a hard time about it, and so you're explaining how did this come to be, I should say. And then how they feel once you guys have had this communication or this interchange, they feel like you've got too much on your plate, and they feel like you're not handling everything that is on your plate. You're letting some things fall through the cracks here. So I think they come away from this exchange not necessarily understanding where you're coming from, but definitely kind of worried about you. Next thing that we have coming up talks to me about that lesson or experience during this particular time frame. I do think that you guys are stepping up to the plate by taking accountability for things that maybe you wouldn't have taken accountability for. Maybe you would have let somebody else take accountability. And so you're stepping up to the plate for that. You're being much more responsible as you do that, and you're having much more integrity about who you are to yourself as you do this. Okay? And then at the same time that this is going on, it looks like there is somebody around you who's showing you their true colors, and your opinion of them is slipping down a few notches whenever they do that. In fact, your opinion of them goes from feeling like they are ideal for whatever situation you had them in your life with to they're close to the ideal, but they're not really exactly what I want to settle for. So by them showing their true colors, they've sort of started on their way of whittling themselves out of whatever position you've given them in your life. And then once we get close to the 16th, the 17th, we've got something coming up here that shows me that you're getting in some sort of message about something that you need to do that you're not feeling very excited or fired up about, something that could be even pretty tedious, not something that you're jumping up and down to do. Okay, so that's the first part of the month, Virgos. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and when I come back, we'll look at the second half. See you soon. Thank you. Welcome back, Virgo. This time we are looking at July the 18th through the 31st. Cards once again are on the table, so let's just jump right in, shall we? First thing that we're looking at is your environment. Remember, any place you have energy or effort invested. And what we have going on is that there are some very clear-cut decisions that are being made around your environment and in your environment right now. I think that you have a hand in some of those decisions, but not all of them. Next thing that comes up talks to me about your subconscious leanings. There's definitely something that you want to tell somebody about, and I feel like you're holding back because whatever this is really not your news to tell as much as it's somebody else's news to tell. And so I think that, your subconscious is really working on, not saying, not saying something that you really are chomping at the bit to say. Next thing that we have coming up talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. Learning style, it seems like you're getting in a lot of information lately, but it's kind of hazy. Somebody's not being real clear with you about something, and I think you're noticing that you don't have a real clear picture of what's going on here. As far as your communication style, I do feel like you're communicating a lot emotionally or a lot about emotions during this particular time frame, Virgos. Next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about work. It looks to me like there's a lot of confusion going on at work. It may be a little bit hard to keep up with what the latest story is now. I'm almost getting the sense of gossip as I'm dealing with that card, but it's not gossip, rumors. I think what's going on is there's a lot of rumors and you're having a hard time keeping straight what's the real deal and what's really the rumor. Everything's getting really confusing around work in that area. Next thing that we have coming up does talk to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. Goodness, this has almost come up like the third time already in this spread. It talks about that there's something going on that you can't quite put your finger on. People are only giving you partial information, or you only have access to partial information, but not to the full amount of information. And so there's something wacky, there's something off about this situation. You just can't quite figure out what it is. And you can't quite figure out what it is because you don't have the full information, the full picture. I mean, this is... at work there's a lot of confusion over rumors and the truth, so this really is like a direct correlation to that. And then your learning style, people are giving you information that's just kind of hazy and vague, and well, when that happens, we know something's up, don't we? So there's something going on, and all of this seems like it's feeding into some type of work situation just because we had this very clearly in that work position. Now, it could be happening in other parts of your life too, also, but for right now, I think we're focusing on work. We kind of have that pointer that takes us right there. Okay, let's look at what's happening other than this though. Next thing we're going to look at, Virgo, are those things that you stand for. And so this is something somebody has asked you to explain or has confronted you about. And then we're going to look at how this person feels about you in the situation afterwards. It's interesting. So you have been manifesting those things that you want to manifest in your life. You've just been going out there and making them happen. Somebody may have confronted you. How did you get so lucky? Who knows what they actually say. But why would somebody confront somebody for manifesting? That should be an attaboy or a good job or something, not a confrontation. Not somebody saying, well, explain to me how you did that. It kind of makes me think of like if you get a really great grade on a test at school and then the teacher's like, yeah, who did you copy off of? You know, that type of, that's kind of the energy I have here, that somebody's suspicious of the things that you're manifesting. And I feel like whatever you're manifesting is really solid. So once you've had this interaction with this other person, looking at how they feel about you is really, really interesting. And I'm kind of pausing because I'm trying to remember in the Harry Potter novels, one of the novels, I'm so bad about remembering exact names of stuff. But anyway, one of the novels talked about these creatures that would come along and would freeze your soul or suck out your soul or whatever. Anyway, they were just really terribly dreaded beings. And at one point, Harry looks across like a lake or a pond or a body of water of some kind, and he sees this animal that to him symbolizes his dad, and this animal comes to their assistance some way. But there's actually, Harry made this animal, created, manifested this creature to draw attention away from himself and his friend. And there's a name for the creature, but I can't remember it. I'm sure one of you will put it in the comments if you've, I'm sure a lot of you have read Harry Potter. We don't deal with a lot of muggles on this channel, do we? Anyway, I feel like this person feels like you have strong magic, like you have very powerful magic, the kind of magic that could manifest a whole other being to take attention away from you while you're doing what you need to take care of. That's really interesting. I think that they're a little bit in awe of you, and I think that their respect of you grows, although it's interesting because I think they have an ego and they're not going to let you know that their respect of you just grew. Not in any kind of big way. All right, so are they afraid of you though? No, I don't feel like they're afraid of you. Now, next thing that I am looking at talks to me about the thing that your lesson or experience basically as you're going through this time frame. It looks to me like there's somebody in your sphere of influence who you're interacting with who has strong narcissistic tendencies. And with these strong narcissistic tendencies, I think what you're learning is, how do I interact with a person like that and still keep the peace? Or how do I interact with a person like that and still keep my peace, my sanity? You know, so, I mean, I shouldn't laugh because it really is serious business on real life. But I'm just looking at the cards and I can so relate. I have dealt with narcissistic people before and felt like I was completely losing my peace. So can so relate. Lesson or experience here is, how do you interact with this person without losing your peace? I mean, do you interact with them without losing your peace? Do you walk away from any interactions with them? Is that how you keep your peace? I think you're discovering all of this and exploring all of this right now, especially as it pertains to this one particular person. And I feel like this person is probably somebody, for most of you, who is pretty dominant in your life. So it's not like you can just be like, yep, I'm walking away, I'm never looking at that person again. I don't think that can happen for most of you. Now, as you're learning about the best way to interact with this person or to not interact with this person, whatever your case may be, you are having some very cool ideas. You're having some very cool thoughts about what could work. Right now, they're just thoughts, so we haven't tried them, and they're not tried and true theories. They are just brand new theories. Also, at the same time, I think that you're letting this person get to you in some way or another. They may be getting you to spend money on them or loan money to them that you really were not planning on, and maybe that is not necessarily in the budget. Not very happiness making for you whenever you're spending money on somebody else to go do something fun while you're eating snack ramen for supper, you know. So we have that. And then once we get to the end of the month, Virgos, wow, I really feel like if you guys let things go the way they're showing up on my table right now, and remember, you don't have to. You have free will. This is a heads up. It gives you a chance to change some of this energy. It gives you a chance to make some different decisions so that you make my cards a liar. And in this case, I would really like you to make my cards a liar, actually. Because this last card really talks about this person has gotten to you like emotionally and mentally and has just really jacked with your mojo where you were creating and manifesting. By the time we get to the end of the month, after you're dealing with this narcissistic personality, you're not even able to focus on manifesting right now because you're really focused on the things that this person has done that have thrown you off track. And what's interesting about interacting with a narcissist is sometimes they absolutely realize that they're throwing you off track and they get a charge out of it. Sometimes they can't see that far past their own nose to know they're throwing you off of track. Sometimes they are just so self-centered that they have no clue in what ways they're impacting you. So, you know, as you see this person coming in and as you're watching your own interactions with this person, just keep an eye out to try to remain your own authentic self. Try not to jump through too many hoops of this person's. Try to maintain loyalty to your own goals, to your own targets, to what you want to accomplish. It's okay to help somebody. It's not okay to give up our own goals, our own hopes, and our own dreams to help somebody. Get it? That's the line that we don't want to cross. And this is the line that I feel like if nothing happens to change this energy, this is the line that you're going to let this person cross. You're going to let this person come in and just sap your energy away from you so you have nothing left for you. It's okay to help them. It's not okay to give them all your energy. You have other things to do too. You have things that you were put on this earth for. And they don't understand this, but probably not all of it was to wait on them hand and foot. Okay? All right, so I'm going to get off my soapbox there, Virgos. That's how your month ends up. Like I said, please change that outcome. I love you guys. Everybody have a great month. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you here for privates between now and then. But if not, then I will see you guys back on the next video. Peace out.